Thank you for joining us here, especially those of you that just walked over from the Edge State of the Union session. Today, when you develop your sites, you don't know if they will work exactly the same way in Edge because of missing web capabilities. Or you don't know if you can even test your site in Edge if you're not on Windows 10. That's not the world that you want, and that's not the world that we want to give you. As you probably heard in the keynote, Edge State of the Union, and may have even read online, we are completely changing this paradigm with the next major version of Edge. So my name is Jatinder Mann, and I'm the Group Program Manager for the Edge Web Platform team.
Hi, and I'm Gaurav Seth. I lead our product thinking around developer experiences and helping move the web ecosystem forward.
Hey everyone, and I'm Sudhir Miramanda. I'm from the Office Platform team.
Awesome. So over the course of this hour, Gaurav and I will walk you through some of the pain points that you have shared with us with the Edge web platform, web apps, and developer tools, and how our new strategy begins to address those concerns. We'll also invite Sudhir to talk through his experiences building on web technologies. And finally, I will walk you through how we're working with other browser vendors in open source projects to help build a better web for all of you. Last December, we announced that the next major version of Edge will be based off of the Chromium project. And we also shared that it's not only our intent to adopt Chromium, but we also want to become significant contributors to this project in a way that will not only make Edge better, but will help make all other Chromium-based browsers better as well. But before I get into those details, I wanted to share why are we making this change. Over the course of this talk, you will see us try to drive a new habit through every stage of product planning, where we are being driven by a relentless drive to discover your unmet needs. Chuck shared a few core audience constituencies for the Edge team: developers, consumers, enterprises, and educators. And we spent the last year listening to this group through user studies, focus groups, standards bodies meetings, and partner events around the world. And in this session, we're going to share what listening taught us about web developers like yourself, and how we're beginning to address some of your pain points in the next major version of Edge, and a little bit more of what's still to come. So what did you tell us? The first thing you told us is inconsistent capabilities across browsers increases your development and test costs. What this usually means is you're developing your site in one browser, and when you're done, you go to test your site in another browser, and you find that that capability you were relying on isn't consistently available. This forces you to decide either to re-implement that feature in two different ways, which increases your development and maintenance costs, or you just can't rely on that technology that you wanted to use. Web browsers have spent a significant amount of energy trying to support a consistent set of web capabilities. If we look at the HTML5 test.com benchmark, which is a test of browser conformance with emerging web standards, we can see that over the course of the last decade, Microsoft and other browser vendors have spent a significant amount of energy trying to support a consistent set of web standards so you can rely on a consistent set of web capabilities. So while we've made great progress over the last several years, there's still a non-trivial gap. And when we look at a web of 35 trillion URLs, even a small gap can have a significant impact on your customer's experience through compatibility and broken sites. By adopting Chromium and becoming a significant contributor to the Chromium project, we're hoping that the next major version of Edge supports a more consistent set of web capabilities with more browsers. So this will help make your development easier and will also help our users see less compatibility issues. You've also shared that fragmentation across browser versions and operating systems also increase your development and test costs. So today, even when the latest version of Edge supports the same web capabilities as other browsers, you may still see fragmentation. And that's because Edge ships major updates today with every major update of the operating system. And each of these Windows 10 versions have a certain support lifetime. So at a given time, you may end up supporting multiple versions of Edge, each with possibly different capabilities, which again increases your development and test costs. With the next major version of Edge, we are now supporting a consistent web platform across everywhere where Edge is available. So you no longer have to worry about capability fragmentation. Once you can use a capability in one place, you can assume it's available wherever Edge is. So even if we solve fragmentation across browser versions, you may still see fragmentation across operating systems. Today, Edge is only supported on Windows 10. So if you are a developer developing on Mac, it's very hard for you to develop and test on Edge. Either you need a separate computer for Edge, or you need to have a separate VM, or worse, you may rely on testing in production, which is not a great experience for your customers. A year and a half ago, we made Edge available on iOS and Android, and the next major version of Edge will be supported across more platforms that you use, and it will be a consistent web platform that you can just rely on. You also told us that you want updates at the speed of the web to maximize your code reuse. Today, Edge ships major updates with every major update of the operating system. We also ship security patches with Patch Tuesday every month. But other browsers have set a cadence where they ship new features as early as every 6 weeks. You've also told us that you want to be able to test the stable version of the browser so you know what your customers are experiencing in the wild on the web right now. But you also want to test a preview version so you can see what compatibility issues were created and get ahead of them, or experiment with a new set of web capabilities before they're broadly available. Today, Edge is supporting a preview version, but it's only available on the Windows Insider platform. So as a developer, you're forced to choose either a stable version of the operating system or a preview version. It's very hard for you to test Edge, both stable and preview, side by side. With the next major version of Edge, we will ship at a faster cadence. We will also let you install up to 4 different versions of Edge side by side on any supported operating system. Last month, we made available both the Canary and Dev channel builds. The Canary is our daily build. You can think of this as the bleeding edge. This is what the Edge engineering team uses to validate bug fixes and testing out new features. So you may discover bugs before we've had a chance to fix them. Every week, we will promote one of the Canaries to the Dev channels. This is a little bit more stable build. We use some more performance testing, user feedback. So if you're a developer and you want to keep up with the latest of what the Edge team is working on, this is a good build for you to try out. We haven't yet released the beta channel, but at some point, we will promote a Dev channel and stabilize it in the beta channel. The beta channel will be a good signal to enterprises and IT pros to start piloting and trying out Edge in their environment. And eventually, we will promote one of these betas to a stable and start shipping stable Edge at a faster cadence, roughly matching what the other browsers ship at every 6 weeks. So I spoke a little bit about the pain points you felt on the web platform. I'm going to invite Gaurav to speak about some of your pain points on the web apps and developer tools.
Thanks, Jatinder. So the browser is just one of the applications that uses our web platform. Today, if you think about Windows, there are over 2 million applications on Windows that use some form of web content. When we talk to developers, the thing that we heard back was that you need flexibility. You need flexibility to be able to use web and mix web with native code to create experiences for your customers. The thing that we heard even more was that you really need a way to create cross-platform applications that are built only using web technologies. With Windows 10, we've been on a journey to bring the support for web applications onto the platform. Let's walk through that. We started with what we called Windows Web Applications. Over a period of time, these evolved to what we call hosted web application and progressive web apps. These web applications were able to utilize the native capabilities of the devices using WinRT APIs. They ran in a host which we called Windows Web Application Host. They could be installed from the store, but could not be discovered from the browser. There were 3 problems with this. Number 1, accessing capabilities via WinRT meant these apps could not go cross-platform. Number 2, running inside of a host that did not share or was not built on the same host that the browser is built upon meant that your code had inconsistencies versus when it was running in the browser. Number 3, not being able to discover it from the browser meant that your app could not be discovered by more people. Along with the new Edge, we are taking the next step in our journey. With that step, we are making sure that you now can use your progressive web applications in a more, you can create them using web standards. These applications can run in a host that is similar and based on the browser. And finally, these applications can be discovered from the store as well as the browser. So to show you that, let me take you and show you a quick demo of what I mean. So here I am on my Mac running a dev bits of the new Edge. You will see that I have some extensions installed, etc. One of the things I end up doing is I often, before getting out from office, I go to Starbucks, I order my coffee and pick it up on the way. Now this application is a progressive web application. This website has been written as a progressive web app. What is a progressive web app? Any website that has 3 things. Number 1, it has service workers and storage for offline support. Number 2, it has an app manifest that describes the look and feel of the app if it was to be installed as an app. And number 3, it is served over secure HTTP, so HTTPS. So the developers at Starbucks created or promoted their site to become a progressive web app. Now, as a user, when I go there, what I see here is this additional way to install this app. So let me go ahead and install this app. The first thing that you will see is I was logged into my Starbucks account, and I remained logged into the progressive web app. The next thing that you will see is if I go here, the state of my extensions that just carried over to my progressive web app. This was never available, both of these things, in the previous version of the progressive web app when you shared a different host than the browser. Now, if I right-click and go to Inspect, what you will see is that this app also has the exact same set of browser tools available inside of your PWA context as they would have been in your browser context. Again, this is something that is pretty new. Now, in terms of the app itself, the thing that you would notice is, first, let's talk about the branding. So as I said, the developers could write or use the app manifest to give the branding, etc. for the app. So out here you see that the tab or the shell took the green branding from Starbucks. The app came in the dock, it has the Starbucks icon. If I go look in my Spotlight search, it just looks and feels as a native app to an end user. Last, given that we are now running in the same shell, you could actually go, pop back up from a progressive web app back into your browser. So you have continuity there. And then finally, you could actually go and see all of your installed apps inside of the browser. So let me just recap what I showed you. With the new Edge, we are bringing standards-based progressive web apps that can be discovered and installed via the browser. They are available across all versions of Windows, and they will be available cross-platform as well. So what I showed you here was running those apps on my Mac. You can run them across any version of Windows, wherever Edge is available. The preview for these is available today. If you go and download either the Dev or the Canary channel, you can start playing around with these apps. The next thing when we talked to developers that we heard was that regardless of whether they were writing web applications or hybrid applications, they wanted to make sure that their code could access the latest web features that are supported in the browser. This is important because your web code is typically shared. It often runs in the browser. It also runs in an app. So if you have to diverge, it basically increases your development and testing cost. Now, I talked about hybrid apps. Let's talk a little bit more about what it actually means. So you have a lot of options to kind of create applications using native technologies. On Windows, let's assume you were using either Win32 or UWP to create a native application. Many a times, you just want to bring an ad control into that app. You can bring that ad control as a web view that is available inside your app. Many a times, you can also bring another reusable component, something that was available as a website. Out here, I'm bringing a custom form, which is also available via the web. This is what we call a hybrid application. It essentially is a mixture of native technology and web technology together. Now, over the last many years, Windows has had support for a Webview control to help you build these hybrid applications. But there were two key problems that we had with the support that we offered. Number one, as Jatinder was saying, we had the problem of fragmentation. Across any version of Windows, you could only use the latest web platform that was available. This meant that you had to fragment your app, you had to test across different versions of Windows. Next, the support for this was not consistent for your Win32 apps and the UWP apps. This created a lot of pain. Along with New Edge, I'm very happy to share with you all that we are bringing a new Webview control. This Webview control will stay up to date by default. It will be consistent with the browser version. It will be consistent across all versions of Windows, and it will be available across both your UWP and your Windows Win32 apps. Now, when we talk to developers, one of the things that we did hear back was there are certain cases where you do not really want to keep up to date with the speed of the web. There are certain cases where you really want to optimize for app compatibility. For those cases, we are bringing a choice that you can use this web control and package it with your application so that you are guaranteed about app compat. Again, this model will be consistent across all versions of Windows and will be available both for your Win32 and UWP apps. With that, let me actually hand it over to Sudhir to demo the next Webview control that we are working. Sudhir is on the Office team, and he's been working with us closely as we experiment and bring up this new Webview control. Sudhir, over to you.
Thanks, Gaurav. Hi again, everyone. You must be wondering what Office is doing over here on stage. So I'm here for a couple of reasons. Number one, Office is making a big bet on the new Webview control. Number two, just a quick show of hands. How many of you have looked at the Office add-ins platform? Amazing, a few people over here. I'm going to show you how easy it is to build an Office add-in using the new Webview control. So hopefully more of you will go back and take a look at the Office add-ins platform. So with that, let me give you a quick context. The Office platform lets you build your solution within the canvas of Office. There are three main tenets to the Office add-ins platform. One is you bring your web technologies to the platform, to your add-in. So web standards are critically important for basically the add-in development. Number two, add-ins are cross-platform, meaning any add-in that you develop on Windows is going to be available wherever Office runs. Number three, we've got some incredible modern distribution technologies for you. You can get your add-in to everybody in the world using the Office store, or you can bring your add-in to people in organizations using the Office 365 centralized deployment. Now, here are the core building blocks of Office add-ins. Office add-ins lets you insert extension points or ribbon buttons and tabs in the ribbon of Office. You can display the UX of your add-in in containers such as task panes and dialogues. And last but not the least, the web view itself is actually rendered in these containers. It's able to interact with content in Office using an incredible set of APIs that we have available in Office.js. All right, so with that, let me throw some code up there. This is actual Office code you're looking at. As you can see over there, Office is targeting the Canary build of Edge, of the WebView control over here. And you'll be able, as Gaurav and Jatinder mentioned, you'll be able to target a specific build of WebView within your own native application. So let's look at a couple of these in action over here. Let me go to 7. All right, so I've got a couple of command windows over here. On the one over here on the left, I've got a web server running. This is serving up my Office add-in. Remember that I mentioned Office add-ins are built using web technologies. So this is just serving up my add-in on a local website. Now, my add-in that I developed, it's a sample add-in. It's a single-page application. You'll see I have an index.html over here. I've got the corresponding index.js. I've got a bunch of functions that I've written over here, things that insert sample tables, things that color cells, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and sideload this particular add-in into Excel and see how this functions. So I'm going to run a quick sideload command. Again, from a development standpoint, this is going to basically launch Excel and insert that add-in into Excel. So there it is. And the button should be coming up, and there's that extension point that the Office add-in created in Excel. So let me do a couple of things over here. So I'm going to select a few cells. I'm going to color these cells green over here. Again, that's an Office.js API that we've enabled using the new WebView control. These things are already functional. We've already done the work to integrate these APIs with the new control. The second thing I'm going to do is just insert some sample data. There's just some sample table inserted into Excel. Now, Jatinder showed you the HTML5 test.com score. Let's navigate over there and make sure it's the same score over here for the WebView control as well. And there you see it. It's 535 again, bringing that same web standards to the Office add-in development as well. And last but not the least, let me show you a WebGL page, just some animation over here. Again, showing you that the control is compatible with the latest and greatest web standards out there. All right, so before I go though, I talked about developer experience. Let me show you how easy it's going to be with the new developer tools, with the new debugging tools that Gaurav showed when he was talking. So let's go inspect. Now remember that back in Excel, I colored a bunch of cells green. Let's see if we can change that color to yellow. So let's go back over here, go back to sources. You'll see that this is where the cells are being colored green. So I'm going to go put a breakpoint. I have a breakpoint over there already. Let me go back into Excel, click on Set Color. So there's my breakpoint is hit. And let me change that to, let me just copy that really quick. And okay, let's change that to, say, yellow. And now if I were to go back to Excel and resume script, that should change to yellow. So again, that's a quick demo of where we are with the WebView control. Just to leave you, let me go back to 5. Thank you. So again, a whole lot more information over there on that website about Office add-ins. If you folks want more info, come back and talk to me at the Office add-ins booth, or join the next Office add-ins community call. Back to you, Gaurav.
Thanks, Sudhir. This is awesome. So what Sudhir showed you really was Office working with us to help evolve these WebView APIs. What he also showed you was a new WebView control, which was standards-based, running everywhere. Now, next, I want to spend some time talking about our roadmap. So this is the summary of what we talked about. We will be bringing an always up-to-date WebView control. We will also be providing options to developers to bring your own version and package it with your app. Today, I'm in fact very happy to announce the preview version of this Win32 WebView control. If you go to aka.ms/webview, you can get all the instructions to get started. The work for UWP control, as well as the bring your own version, is still in the works, and we will share more as we make progress. But today, the Win32 control is available, and that is what Sudhir showed that Office was building upon. It was the always up-to-date control that you should go and take a look at. Now let me recap and talk about what we talked and then talk about existing applications. So Jatinder and I, we said, hey, we are changing the browser. I told you that, hey, we are evolving our progressive web applications to be standards-based. I told you there's a new Webview control that is coming. But all of you have been writing a bunch of existing applications, right from the Windows Store-based, database, HWAs, PWAs. There's the Edge HTML and MS HTML-based web views. And then there's a bunch of other hybrid app types. What happens to those? That's the obvious question in everybody's mind. Like, what happens to those? Like, the answer is very simple. They just continue to work as is. What we showed to you today is a very early preview of how we are thinking about and where we are going with our application platform based upon web technologies. We want to build it with you. We want to get your feedback. That's why we are previewing. But your existing apps will just continue to work as is for now. The last thing that I wanted to touch upon that we heard from you all and we wanted to cover today was that developers have come back and told us that they want to make sure that the developer tools that they use are consistent across any context where they use web, be it the browser, be it web apps, be it hybrid apps, or whatever. This is important because if you have to shift your developer tools across these app contexts, it impacts your productivity. As we showed across both the demos, we now have a new set of consistent, powerful developer tools that are available across your browser, across your PWAs, across your web views that you can use. We're starting with Chromium tools as a baseline, and we are starting to contribute upstream. With that, let me bring back Jatinder to talk about, to wrap this section up and talk a little bit more about our open source principles. Jatinder, over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Gaurav. So today we talked about what listening taught us about your pain points in the Edge web platform, web apps, and developer tools, and how our new strategy is beginning to address some of those concerns. You told us that you still see inconsistent web capabilities across browsers. The next major version of Edge will support a consistent web platform with more browsers by adopting the Chromium project. You told us that you see fragmentation across browser versions and operating systems. The next major version of Edge will be supported across more operating systems and will have a consistent web platform available everywhere. You told us that you wanted to see updates faster. The next major version of Edge will ship updates at the speed of the web. You told us that you want to bet on web technologies and build cross-platform web apps. The next major version of Edge will support standards-based PWAs. You told us that you wanted a consistent web platform between web apps and the browser. The next major version of Edge will support a consistent same web platform between the browser, Webview, and PWAs. And finally, you told us that you wanted a consistent set of web tools. The next major version of Edge will support a consistent set of developer tools across the browser, PWAs, and Webview controls. So now that we've talked about how we're beginning to address some of your pain points in the next major version of Edge, I wanted to talk to you about how we're working with other browser vendors in open source projects to help build a better web for everyone. And I wanted to start by sharing the principles that we aspire to hold ourselves accountable to as we participate in these projects. The first principle is we're making this decision for the long term. We expect our engineers to learn and over time grow into experts in the Chromium code base. We expect them to grow into active and responsible members of the community, to maintain any contributions that they make. Number two, when seeking updates to the web platform, our default position is to contribute. So while we are still going to build a world-class browser with Microsoft Edge, with differentiated user experiences and connected services, when it comes to the web platform, we are seeking a rising tide floats all boats approach. Number three, we will respect and adhere to the architectural requirements and engineering approaches used in Chromium. So while we will offer our Windows platform expertise to help make all Chromium-based browsers better, we will do so in a way that aligns with Chromium's cross-platform and cross-device needs. And finally, while we will implement our platform features in Chromium, we still believe that the evolution of the open web is still best served through standards bodies discussions. And we believe that the open web benefits from open debate from a wide variety of perspectives. So we will remain deeply and vigorously engaged in standards body discussions in the W3C What Working Group and anywhere where the perspectives of browser vendors and the larger web community like yourself can be heard and considered. So while we've only been in the Chromium project for a few months, we've actually been very warmly welcomed by Chromium engineers and Chromium browsers in this project. And while we're still ramping up in the code base, we've already made some modest but meaningful contributions, including Microsoft landing almost 400 commits into the Chromium project since our December announcement. If you want to keep up to date with some of the contributions we're making, we're documenting the larger major contributions in the MS Edge Explainers GitHub repo. So this is a good place for you to look at the changes and also give your feedback. We may introduce new web platform APIs here, but they will be incubated and standardized in the right standards tracks. So how are we helping make the web better? I wanted to talk to you about these three areas. The first is our commitment to accessibility. We want to make sure that we build an accessible web platform, that your standards-based markup just works for all of your users, including those that use assistive technology tools. We know that improving accessibility is a multifaceted problem. So we're helping look into these 5 different areas and how we can help make accessibility tools great in Chromium. Today, Edge is the only browser to get a perfect score in the HTML5 accessibility.com benchmark. And we want to bring these improvements forward to Chromium. So we've started to talk to Chromium engineers on a number of areas and have started to make contributions. One area is that we're working with Chromium engineers is to help add the more secure and modern Windows accessibility APIs, UI automation. So this will ensure that your standards-based markup just works with assistive technology tools like screen readers. So there's nothing extra you need to do, just use standards-based markup, and this will just work. We know that high contrast is the most used built-in Windows assistive technology tools. In fact, up to 4% of all Windows users use this dialog. Today, if a user goes to the Windows Ease of Access dialog and sets these settings, it doesn't apply in Chromium. So we're making changes to just support high contrast by default. After these changes land, your web content, your web app UI will just work. There's nothing extra you as a developer need to do. Now we know developers care about the look and feel of their sites, and they care about the styling. So we're also working in the right working groups and the standards bodies to incubate new proposals that will give you the right set of controls. So working in the CSS working group, we are contributing a new proposal called Forced Colors Media Query. This will help you detect when a user has set high contrast, either in the browser or through the operating system. Once you've detected that, you can either choose to keep the styles as is, or you can choose to change the styles. So using the Forced Color Adjust None property, you can disable color adjustments on an entire element subtree and replace it with your own set of styles if you choose. And you can also use these styles to leverage existing colors that the user has specified. So these are proposals right now, but once they get stabilized in the standards track, we will start committing these changes upstream to Chromium. While we were looking at high contrast, we also noticed that the built-in Chromium web controls weren't supporting accessibility very well. So when you enable high contrast, they didn't support high contrast. So this is another area where we're helping just contribute high contrast support. So after these changes land, you'll just see high contrast work. There's nothing you need to do. We also did some user studies where we found that the focus rect visibility wasn't very clear to many users, so we're increasing the contrast of the focus rect. While updating the controls, we also realized that the controls aren't very touch-friendly. So for your users on touch devices, they don't have great hit regions. So we're going ahead and updating the controls to improve their hit region so it's easier to touch them when you're on a touch device, on a touch screen. We also heard some feedback from some of you that the default styling of the controls was very basic, which would often force you to update the styling of the controls beyond what you would have just done for branding purposes. So we're also going ahead and updating the look and feel of the controls to match the look and feel of the browser. So now you can choose to do as much styling as you feel is necessary for branding purposes. We're also bringing better keyboard accessibility, both to the browser and to developer tools. So here's an example of how I can use the keyboard to drive the performance tools directly without any other input modalities. And finally, if you use WebVTT on your website for captions, today when a user goes to the Windows Ease of Access dialog and tries to change the settings to, like, say 150% caption size, white background, black foreground, Chromium doesn't support this today. We're also contributing changes where this will just work after it's done. We're working with Chromium engineers to support similar settings across other platforms as well. So we've received great support from Chromium engineers on all of these accessibility areas and have started committing changes, and we expect these features to land in the coming weeks and months ahead for all Chromium-based browsers. As I mentioned before, we want to bring our Windows platform expertise to help improve the experience of all Chromium-based browsers on Windows. We see making the web better on Windows a great thing for all of you and our partners and business. So I wanted to talk through these 5 areas. Improving the login experience for your customers, making it seamless and more secure is probably a top priority for everyone. Web authentication is a new web standard that's supported in all major browsers that lets you leverage biometrics authentication to do passwordless and two-factor auth scenarios in a way that's more secure than traditional passwords. So let's take a look at a demo. So I'm on msn.com, and I'm going to go ahead and sign in. So the Microsoft account team has gone ahead and added support for web authentication. Normally, in the past, you would have to log in with a username and password, but now with web authentication, you can log in just with biometrics auth. We've also worked with Chromium engineers to add support for Windows Hello. This is the default Windows 10 authenticator and is available on all Win 10 devices and was recently FIDO2 certified. So normally, I would put in my email and then a password later on, but now I can click on this sign in with Windows Hello, and you can see that the page has now brought up the Windows Hello dialog, and it has an option of biometrics auth, PIN, or security keys. The Windows Hello Authenticator has recognized me. It's saying, hello, Jatinder. I click OK, and I'm logged in. I don't have to provide a password. So how do you use this experience on your site? Actually, it's worth mentioning that experience is available in Edge today, and the Microsoft account team is rolling out support for the same feature in Edge, Canary, and Dev Channel in the coming weeks. So how do you support web authentication? Well, it's quite straightforward. There's 2 APIs. First, you're going to register a credential for a given user on a given device. And then later, you're going to authenticate the user. So to register the user, you use the navigator.credentials.create method. This will create a strong cryptographic key pair. It will place the private key on this OS securely, and it will return a public key that you can put on your server. Once that's done, the next time the user attempts to log in, you will authenticate the user using the navigator.credentials.get method. You can either specify a very specific authenticator you want to use, or you can just use the default authenticator that has a credential. Once this call is made, the authenticator will verify the user. So you saw Windows Hello showed up and it verified me through biometrics auth. Once that's done, the authenticator will take a challenge that you provided. It will use the private key and sign that challenge. It will return that signature back to you. And on the server, you're going to use the public key, and you can validate that that's the exact same challenge that you had sent. So through the magic of symmetric cryptography, you can log in a way that's more secure without ever providing a password. If you're interested in the server-side and client-side changes to use this new technology, there's an entire session devoted to this tomorrow afternoon. So please do check that out. For the media developers in the room, premium media sites use the encrypted media extensions web standard and content decryption modules to protect premium media content so that it's only viewed by users authorized by the streaming service. Today, Edge supports the Microsoft PlayReady CDM, which is the only hardware-backed content protection available in any browser on Windows 10. This gives premium media sites the confidence they need to give Edge the highest quality content, including 4K premium and 1080p content. Because PlayReady is hardware-backed, it also gets best-in-class battery life for protected media playback. But if you're a developer, not all developers want to support multiple different CDM systems and multiple different licensing configurations. So as a user, you may have encountered a page like this while browsing the web where a site didn't work, a premium media site, on Edge, and it only supported the Google Widevine CDM to support to save costs on Windows. So to give you technology choice and to help your users have the best, most compatible experience, the next major version of Edge will support both Microsoft PlayReady and Google Widevine CDM. So if you want the highest quality content with the confidence from a hardware-backed CDM system, you can continue to use PlayReady. If you don't use PlayReady and you're already using Google Widevine CDM and content for that, you can continue to do so. PlayReady will only be supported on Windows 10, so it's important that you feature detect the available CDMs. So you can use the Request Media Key System Access API to do this feature detection. We recommend that you start with PlayReady. So since I brought up feature detection, I also wanted to talk to you about user agent strings. The user agent string is a string that the browser sends to web servers to identify itself. If we look at the Chromium UA string, in it you can kind of see the history of the web, because over time all browser vendors have been giving different tokens to get the most compatible web content. To continue that long tradition, the next major version of Edge will also send a very similar string as Chromium. In fact, it's the exact same string, except we're adding the EDG token. So if for some reason you're blocking your site on user agent detection, please provide access to the EDG token and give us the exact same content that you would give to any Chromium-based browser. So we chose the EDG token to not collide with the current version of Edge, the Edge token, and workarounds that you may have applied for the current version of Edge. So when should you use user agent detection to detect feature support? I guess the short answer is you should probably never do that. The UA string is very fragile. Tokens are changing all the time. Version numbers are changing. So code that you write to UA detect is fragile on its own. But it also forces you to continue to maintain that code. As new browsers ship new features every 6 weeks, you're forced to constantly update these version numbers. Instead, if you did feature detection, like I'd shown in the CDM example, you write that code once, and it's now future-proof. You don't have to worry about updating that code. For example, that CDM case, if you write that code once and a new browser supports the PlayReady CDM, that code will just work. Let's talk a little bit about how the Edge team is helping improve the speech experience in Edge. So So speech synthesis is a web standard that converts text to speech. We heard feedback from some of you that the existing speech scenario or the quality of the voices wasn't great. So we've gone ahead and worked with the Microsoft Cognitive Services team to add support for more higher quality voices. So in this demo, I'm going to go to this demo site that we created, which uses speech synthesis to convert text to speech.
Try the new Microsoft Edge Insiders channels.
You can tell the voice sounds a little bit robotic. We've now added support for 4 new cloud-backed voices. So let's take a look at one of these voices.
Please download and try the new Microsoft Edge Insiders channels.
So if you're trying to build a voice bot or a chat assistant, these more natural sounding voices may sound better for you. So we've added support for 4 new cloud-based voices, and we expect more voices to show up in the coming weeks that will have even higher quality content. So how do you use speech synthesis? Here's an example. You would provide the voice name that you want to use. You use the utterance constructor to create an utterance object. The get voices method will tell you what are all the available voices, both on the system and on the cloud. So these new cloud-backed voices are not just supported on Windows 10, they're supported wherever Edge is available because they're cloud-backed. You would then use the utterance.text for the text you want to speak, the voice for the voice you want to apply in the speak method. So this is a good example of a web standard that's broadly available across all browsers. But the cloud-based voices is a good example of Microsoft's service that we likely wouldn't contribute to Chromium because we know all browsers want to support their own version of their services. Another area that we're helping improve in Chromium is helping with better hardware integration. Scrolling is a very important experience for your users, as it's one of the most effective ways to show that your page is responsive. We want to bring the most fluid and smoothest scrolling experience to Chromium for many input modalities like touch, touchpad, mouse wheel, and scroll bar. We took a look at our data and found that almost every 5th interaction for scrolling happens with a scroll bar. So we decided to start there. So we measured the steady state scrolling latency on a scroll bar on a Surface Go device and found that Edge HTML is actually significantly more responsive than Chromium. Now, fortunately, Chromium engineers are actually very excited to work together to improve scrolling further. So we think this is a great collaboration opportunity. Let me show you one of the first changes we're making in scrolling. So today, if you have a lot of activity happening on your main UI thread, you can often starve the message queue and not be able to service messages coming from the scroll, which causes jank to appear. So this can often happen. Imagine you have a lot of comments loading up at the same time. It's causing an intermittent hang, and now the user tries to scroll, and they just can't scroll. They recognize that the page is not responsive. So I have a pretty ugly-looking demo site here, which has a dependent animation, and I'm going to cause an intermittent hang to showcase how that happens. So I'm causing it to hang. You can see that the animation is now hanging. And if I try to scroll, you can see that it's really janky. I'm moving my mouse quite a bit before the scroll catches up. So as an end user, I can very quickly realize that, this page is not responsive. In this build of Edge, we've made a change where we've now moved scrolling off the UI thread. So no matter how busy your main page is or how much the UI thread is hung, an end user won't realize. So let's take a look at the same page. I'm going to cause a hang. And now if we look at scrolling, it's smooth. So if you have these intermittent hangs that happen for a very short period of time, a user may not even realize that this ever happened. So how do you use this? Well, we're baking it in by default. There's nothing you need to do to support the scrolling experience. You'll just get it by default. So this is just the start of the journey. We're working on improving many other input modalities as well, and we will be committing this change upstream in Chromium soon. We also wanted to help improve the touch experience for your touch users. So the Windows Touch Keyboard supports many capabilities that aren't available in Chromium. One example is auto text suggestion. This is a very common experience if you're on mobile. As you're typing, you can see text being suggested, and you can type faster by selecting them. Shape writing is another example of a capability available in the Windows keyboard that's not available in Chromium. So this is when you swipe your finger over keys and you can type faster. So earlier this year, we made some changes, and we've contributed both of these features to Chromium, so you can use this today in all Chromium-based browsers. So here's an example of shape writing before the change landed. It just doesn't work. And now after the change has landed, shape writing works. Okay, so we've talked about a number of areas where we're helping bring our Windows platform expertise to make Chromium browsers better. I want to talk to you about how we're listening to customers like yourselves to help solve some of your unmet needs by evolving the web forward. So here are 3 things I'd like to talk to you about. The first is HTML modules. We've heard feedback from some of you that componentization and dependency management on the web isn't really good for declarative markup. So while script modules let you do a lot of these things, it really forces you to convert your declarative markup to dynamic markup. So let's take a look at an example. If I wanted to create this custom element, this wink control, I can do so creating an image that when I have a mouse click event, I put a different image in. Using script modules, I would write it like so. I would import my button.js, where I would define the custom element, and I would register the myButton class to this custom element, and then I would use it. If we look at the definition, you can see that there's a lot of HTML and CSS being encoded as JavaScript strings. I'm manipulating my CSS in script. I'm creating HTML nodes. For many of you, declarative markup would have felt a lot more natural here. But this isn't available on the web today. You just can't do this. So we're proposing a new web standard called HTML modules, which lets you do exactly that. So this is the updated page. It's actually exactly the same as before, except now I'm importing a myButton.html. And you can see I'm defining everything in declarative markup. So it's just my regular HTML and CSS. Now I can leverage existing content without having to rewrite it. So we're looking at bringing similar concepts to CSS and JSON modules, and have received great support from both standards bodies and Chromium engineers on this. I wanted to show you a simple example of improving the web to unblock a customer scenario. So we talked about speech synthesis. When we talk to educators, they've told us that they really like our Edge Read Aloud feature, which uses speech synthesis to convert text to spoken word, as it helps their students follow along. But they want to see better synchronization of the highlight effect with the spoken word. Unfortunately, the web standard just didn't support this. There was no way to synchronize what's being spoken with an effect like a highlight. So we contributed a very straightforward change, a char length attribute to the speech synthesis event. So while it's a simple change, it now enables this entire new scenario. So let's take a look at the read aloud feature. So I'm going to enable this.
The Battle of Gettysburg. 77 years ago.
So you can see that as the speech is talking, I can do a highlight effect that synchronizes very well with the spoken word. So it's just a simple example of us listening to customers and adding and contributing changes to a web standard that unblocks a new scenario. Gaurav spoke about how we're bringing powerful web capabilities, powerful device integration directly to the web, so you can build amazing websites and web apps and PWAs just purely on web technologies. So we're looking at bringing capabilities like File API, Share, protocol handlers directly to the web, and other similar concepts. So we're working very closely with Chromium engineers on the project Fugu, which is attempting to do something very similar. So these were a couple pretty basic examples of how we're starting to listen to customers to help solve their unmet needs. So we'd love to hear your feedback on what are some things you can't do on the web today that we and other browser vendors can help solve. With that, I'm going to hand it back off to Gaurav.
Thank you, Jitendra. think at the beginning of the talk today, we talked about, the focus for this talk. The focus was you, the web developers. There are 3 things I want to just recap. These are the 3 key takeaways that I want every one of you to have from what we talked about. When we started, we talked about our new focus, our relentless drive to listen and talk to our customers, to understand their unmet needs and start delivering on those. We then talked about some of the problems that we've been hearing, the work we've been doing, the enhancements that we are bringing to the platform to help reduce your pain, reduce your cost for both web and Windows development. And lastly, Jatinder talked about our collaboration and contribution back into open source. We hope that these contributions back to the open source would not only improve all Chromium-based browsers, but it will also help projects such as Electron, Ceph, which is Chromium Embedded Framework. These are projects that are all built using Chromium. We are very early in our journey. We are very excited by the initial momentum that we are seeing. But to be honest, we are a lot more excited of building this web together with you, of building the product together with you. If you haven't already, please join Microsoft Edge Insider, download the product, give it a try. Jatinder and I will be available after this talk. We will also be available for a couple of days in the booth. There's the rest of the team available. Come see us there. If you have any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer those. If you want to try the new Webview control, you can go to aka.ms/webview. And lastly, if you're watching online and you want to reach us, our Twitter handles are available there. So thank you for coming and thank you for listening. Thank you.